Hey crafters, welcome back to my channel Because I'm Crafty. My name is Katelyn. Into today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about some more industry related videos or videos that would help beginner sewists. So I looked through my video archive to see what I felt I was missing, and I came up with a bunch of videos in my book here that I really wanted to film and talk to you guys about. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about what are the top things to consider when applying to a fashion design school. So there are a lot of different fashion design schools out there, but a lot of them are spread out and kind of few and far between depending on your location. It may be difficult to get to one. But if you've decided that fashion school is for you, you need to decide what kind of fashion program you want. So whether that be design, business, management, or international management or business, decide what specific fashion thing is for you. Now, depending on what's around you, that may decide for you what's actually out there. So you may just go to the closest one, maybe it's a business one, and you take that for now and then you can branch out later. But if you're really set on one of them, try to find one that offers that for you. You don't have to go to the top fashion school to begin with. If you're really into it, do a lot of research and just get into what you can and what you feel is best for you. Now here in Canada, it works with university or college. Depending on where you are, it might be a little bit different, but you need to decide which is the better option for you. So university may cover the topics for longer. They're usually 4-year programs. There's more theory and less hands-on until you get into the later years of the program, and it's definitely more costly. So definitely consider that option, but think about it wisely. College, on the other hand, is usually not as long in terms of the amount of time you spend at school. It's usually 2 years per program. It's usually more hands-on and practical, and the programs that they offer are usually more specific. So if you want to go for a fashion business, there's usually a fashion business program. If you want fashion design, there's fashion design. Whereas in the university programs, you may get a little bit more of all of that, but you just need to do your research to see exactly what they offer. And a lot of colleges offer more in-school, real-world experience, meaning that, for example, if they have a fashion business or management program, they might have stores that are actually in the school that you run for part of your semester. So you get experience in your branding, your marketing, your buying, and your retail all in one while you're at school. So if that isn't an option, and you don't have a lot of outside world experience before you go, definitely look into a program that has a co-op option where you have to go out and do some kind of internship as part of your program to get all your credits. That way you get some experience while you're in school if you're not able to get it outside of school before you go. I do recommend trying to get as much experience as you can before you go. If you don't have access to any type of sewing or anything like that, just watch a lot of videos, tutorials, things like that, so you get an idea of how things are put together. If you go into a design program, it'll definitely make things a little bit easier. The next tip is what is out there after. So do your research and see what jobs are available, because if you're in an area that doesn't really have much of an industry, it might be a lot more difficult for you to find a job after the fact than if you're somewhere in a larger city center. So do your research and make sure you know what's available once you graduate. Another research tip is to research past graduates. So see who's gone to the program that you're interested in and what are they doing now. What did they do prior to going and where did they end up? Are they successful? Did they completely change their career? That may help you decide maybe which program is better for you, or maybe you go a different route. Who knows? So I did mention this last tip earlier, but I just want to hit on it again. Try to go with some experience. If you're going to a fashion design program, try to get some sewing or drafting experience. If you're going to a business or management program, try to have some retail experience before you go. Once you decide on a school, try to learn as much as possible to get as much experience before you go. So now I'm going to talk to you guys about my personal experience going to fashion design school, where most of those tips came from. So bouncing off of that last tip, I did go to fashion design school, and there were a lot of students that went that had no sewing experience whatsoever. Some of them chose to take a kind of pre-class that you could take to get used to the industrial machines. before the actual program started. Some people did not, and I will tell you, they struggled. Did they make it through? Of course they did, but they had to work a lot harder to get through that program and the sewing courses to actually finish everything. I had been sewing a long time prior to that, and I'd been working in an alteration shop, so I got to sew with a lot of different materials, a lot of different techniques, and so before I went, I was kind of relearning things and learning things in a different way, but I already had that experience. So that class was a little bit easier for me compared to the other classes like drafting. I didn't have as much experience in, so I definitely would recommend, if you don't have drafting, get into a little bit of drafting before you go to a design program specifically, but get as much experience as you can, because I think the last thing you want to do in a design program specifically is go with no experience and be learning everything from scratch. It's way too hard to do that right in the middle of a busy semester. So you may be wondering, what school did I go to? I went to George Brown College in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I went to their Fashion Techniques and Design program. Now, I may be a bit biased in recommending George Brown because I really did love it there, but if you guys are in the area and you're looking for a design college, I would definitely recommend George Brown for fashion. Now, not only do they have the design program, they have a international business, management, and I think there's another one too, maybe just a regular business one. I'm not totally sure because I didn't take it. But they also have some postgraduate diploma add-ons that you can get once you finish the 2-year program. I think they have 3 add-ons. One's about sustainable fashion. There's, I think, an international development and a technical design, I believe. I will leave links down below just because I really do recommend their program. If you are in the Ontario area, there is also Ryerson University. That's a 4-year program and is definitely much more costly than George Brown. Depending on what you want, depending on the experience that you want to gain and what you have going into it, that may be a better option for you. I don't have much of an opinion on it because, again, I didn't go there, so I am biased in recommending George Brown, but I think if you want to get a whole grouping of knowledge and hands-on experience, I would definitely recommend George Brown, because you can go for 2 years into the management and then go to design or vice versa, and I think get just as much out of it as you could at Ryerson. Now, one misconception that there is about George Brown and Ryerson and George Brown and a lot of other fashion schools is that there is no connection. You can't go from George Brown to Ryerson and add on. You have to start from the beginning. They do have a collaboration with another school. I'm forgetting the name of it, but I'll link it, as much information as I can down below, but it's in textile design. So that's something that you can go onto afterwards, which I think is really, really interesting. So again, take all my tips and make a decision for what's good for you financially, location-wise, and based on your experience and where you want to go to it. Just do as much research as possible, but keep those tips in mind. So I'm just going to give a quick roundup at the end. So once you've made your decision that you want to go to fashion school, what is the program that you feel is right for you? Number 2, university or college. Figure out which one's good. What's out there after graduation? So do your research on jobs that you could possibly have after or what you're interested in. 4, research past graduates. So what did they go to school with? What did they come out of it with? And where are they now? And 5, try to go with some experience. It will make your school career so much easier if you know a little bit before you go. So I hope that this video was helpful, crafters. I really want to make a lot more of these types of videos about the industry, going to school. I'm actually going to go through some of my textbooks and see if there's anything else that I can share with you guys. And I think it will be really helpful to some of you. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I hope you guys have a fabulous week, and I'll see you next time, crafters. Bye!